Around 1000 AD, Leif Erikson sailed to Norway. There, King Olaf converted him to Christianity. He there set sail to Greenland, but accidentally landed in a region which he called Vinland. 1453, in the Middle East, Constantinople fell to the Ottoman Empire, threatening the trade routes leading to India. From that point on, European powers were forced to find a new trade route to India. Only the people of Venice and Genoa were allowed by the Mamluk Sultanate to pass through the Red Sea. 39 years later, a guy by the name of Christopher Columbus, a citizen of Lisbon, advises the Portuguese king that if the earth is round, another route to India should exist. The king refuses. He took the same story to the king of Spain, Ferdinand. This king, Ferdinand, accepted. Later, Columbus set sail and found several islands where he kills a lot of people, forcing them to convert to Christianity. England, France, Spain, Portugal soon colonized these places, thinking it was India. But Amerigo Vespucci tells that it wasn't India, but a new continent. The continent is named America after Amerigo. Meanwhile, Europe, England, and Scotland unite, forming the UK, or the United Kingdom of Great Britain. This Great Britain, in the 1700s, establishes colonies in North America, starting from the Hudson Bay to modern-day coast of the western North American continent. The American continent is dominated by the British, the French, the Spanish, and the Portuguese. Settlers all around from Europe migrate to this new continent and become the colonists. The 7-Year War breaks out between France and UK, in which the UK wins and France loses all its colonies to Spain and Britain in North America. As Britain loses its money, it taxes the colonies. By number, the colonies are 13. Substitutes from 12 colonies show up in Philadelphia, marking the beginning of the First Continental Congress of America. In 1775, colonists rebel. Later in 1776, Thomas Jefferson, with the Second Continental Congress, proclaims the independence of the United States of America. France allies with the United States to get a revenge against Great Britain. Spain and Netherlands followed suit. In 1783, the U.S. wins, achieving territory till the Mississippi River, giving Spain Florida. In 1787, the U.S. Constitution began. From 30th April in 1789 to 4th March of 1797, George Washington served as the first president of the United States. In 1800, Spain secretly returned the Louisiana Territory to France. In 1803, Napoleon sells the Louisiana Territory to the U.S. for $15 million. Napoleon needed money for his war against Britain. In 1821, Spain ceded the Florida Territory to the United States. The same year was the year when Mexico gained independence from Spain. Texas declares independence like a cowboy, and later from Mexico, and later it joined USA. In the Mexican-American War, the US wins and gained large territories to California. James Gadsden purchased another territory for $10 million in 1853. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln is elected as the president of the country. In the South, the states secede, forming the Confederate States of America. The American Civil War begins, in which the Union won against the Confederacy. It was one of the bloodiest wars in American history. It also marked the end of slavery. Russia fears losing Alaska to the United Kingdom and then sells the territory to the United States for $7.2 million. The Spanish-American War breaks out. The U.S. wins, achieving Puerto Rico, Guam, and Philippines. In 1914, World War I breaks out. The U.S. tried to be neutral first, but then joined the war and then wins in 1918. In 1939, World War II shows up, and then in 1945, with Hitler committing suicide. The world having two powers, the US and the Soviet Union. and 2 bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That is, afterwards followed Japan's surrenders, marking the end of World War II, which led to the creation of the United Nations Organization. The Cold War was a war that wasn't even a war. Soviet missiles were set up in Cuba, and the 2 superpowers were getting ready for a nuclear Armageddon. Later, this calmed down a bit, but the Cold War lasted for almost 45 years, and in 1991, the USSR, or the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the Soviet Union, or Communist Russia, that is Communist Russia, collapses, which led only to one superpower remaining in the world, that is, the United States. From that point on, the US focuses on the conflicts in the Middle East. Today, the country is very powerful and rich, but the population is being badly hit by the pandemic. But the country is also now powerful and rich to fight any opposition. If you've ever been to the United States, you gotta visit these places: Grand Canyon, Lincoln Park, the Statue of Liberty, and the Golden Gate Bridge. And a fun fact, the United States has the longest cave system on the planet.